Welcome back. I hope you're all well. So I feel like today we're talking about something a bit different from my usual content. We're going to talk about hair. Now I have super thin and fine hair, and I really wanted to make this video because I've kind of come up with some little hacks that have really helped me, and I also know how extremely frustrating and annoying it can be to deal with hair like this. By the way, if you have thin and fine hair, which I'm assuming you do since you clicked on this video, give it a thumbs up. But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below. I make new videos twice a week about luxury and fashion, and if you like this video, then I really think you would like all my other videos as well. Okay, so my first tip is for everyone who is thinnest at their roots. That's where my hair is the thinnest, and it is extremely annoying to try to put my hair into a ponytail or try to do some kind of an updo or just basically pull it back, because you're able to see little bits and pieces of my scalp where my hair is just so fine and basically creates these little gaps. So what I've been doing for years and swear by, it's such a game changer, is to just fill in those little spaces with eyeshadow. Now obviously you need to find an eyeshadow that matches the color of your hair. I personally use brow powder because obviously I'm not a natural blonde, and my brows are almost the exact color of my roots. So yeah, I just use my brow powder when I have my hair pulled back or whenever I want to just add some more fullness to it and fill those little gaps in. You can also do it just up here, like wherever your hair is parted. If you want it to look a lot thicker, just kind of fill it in a little bit with that powder, and I swear you guys, it makes such a difference. If you have never done this before, go do it right now. Number 2, dry shampoo. Now this might seem like an obvious one, but I feel like a lot of people don't use dry shampoo like on a day-to-day basis. Well, I mean, they don't use it other than when their hair is dirty. Now, dry shampoo is my best friend. I use this almost every single day, and I know, I guess it kind of dries your hair out a little bit, but without it, my hair would just be so flat and plain. Like, I just couldn't do without the dry shampoo. So what I like to do is, I just like to spray it everywhere and kind of fluff up my hair, and it just makes the biggest difference. Just makes it look so much better in my opinion. And also, a little tip within a tip. I really like putting dry shampoo on my scalp before I go to bed. That way I wake up with a nice, clean, and voluminous hair. And if you didn't know already, this is my favorite dry shampoo. It's not that expensive. You can get it at any drugstore. But if you want to spend a little bit more money, I also sometimes buy the Oribe dry, I believe it's called maybe a dry volumizing spray or something like that. But long story short, it really adds a lot of body to your hair, but it is pretty expensive. So this one will do the trick as well. Okay, moving on, let's quickly talk about conditioners. I'm not going to talk about this too much because I feel like this is a tip that I think probably a lot of people already know. Don't use conditioners at the root of your hair. For me, I don't use conditioners at all because I just can't do it. My hair is so fine. If I use a conditioner, it just instantly makes it flat. It makes it lifeless. It just really changes the way my hair looks. And since it's already so thin, I just skip the conditioner altogether. But if you have pretty dry hair or damaged hair and you feel like you need to use the conditioner, do so. But really only use it at the very, very tips ends of your hair, because otherwise it's just, if you use it up here, it's going to make your hair seem so much thinner than it actually is. Next, let's talk about some products. Now, if you have really thick, voluminous hair, products can be your best friend. But I feel like if you have hair like me, then sometimes they can be your worst enemy, especially things like hair oil, hairspray, because if you go overboard with these products, it just does not look good, in my opinion, on fine and thin hair. So I personally do use hair oil every day, but I use the tiniest amount, and again, I just focus on the very, very ends and nowhere else. Now, hairspray, oftentimes I skip because, again, I don't know what it is about hairspray, but I just really feel like it makes my hair look a lot thinner and just not as good. So if I do use hairspray, I use it from like very far away, and I also use the tiniest amount ever. So my tip is to just be very careful when using hair products, and just know what works for your hair. And if you do use things like hair oil and stuff like that, just be very sparingly. The next tip I feel like is one no one talks about, and if there are any hairdressers watching, please don't kill me. I'm obviously not a hairdresser. This is just my personal opinion, but ditch the layers. Like, I've had long hair for the longest time, and I remember years ago I would always have layers, like a lot of years ago. And I never really understood why my hair just looked so thin and almost like a rat's tail towards the end of my hair. And it was because I've had so many layers, but my hair was so thin, there wasn't really anything to layer. So for me, a basic simple cut makes your hair look thicker and like it has more body and volume. Again, this is just my personal opinion, and this is what works for my hair. Layers just make it a lot worse. So I would suggest to go for a blunt cut, something simple, something plain. Next is to curl your hair. Now, this again might seem like a bit of an obvious one, but if you have long hair, even if you have short hair, like sometimes if I want my hair to have more body, I just throw in some curls, like loose waves, and I fluff them up with a bit of dry shampoo. Obviously use heat protectant every time you use heat on your hair, but curls really add body and volume, and therefore make your hair look a lot more voluminous than it actually is. Okay, and then last but certainly not least is to switch up your part. Now, my hair has been parted in the center for probably like 6 months or so now, but if I want my hair to have some more body, which I did today, I just switch up my part. So you can see I don't have any product in my hair at all, but up here just looks like I have a lot more volume and body, and that's just because I flipped my hair the opposite way from what I usually do. And I know this sounds kind of weird, but it's almost like your hair is trained to lay a certain way, and then once you flip it the other way, it almost wants to be a little rebel and kind of like stick up and be more fluffy and voluminous. So yeah, that is what I do. I just switch up the part, and I feel like this is something that's so simple and anyone can do at home. It doesn't involve any products. It doesn't really involve anything. You just flip your hair to whichever side you usually don't part it on. And that is it for today's video. I really hope that you guys found these tips helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in my next one.